recording. We're good?
Cool.
All right. All right. Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Dead Wrath and Beyond.
It's okay. It's just the
Take
first
two.
one.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Dead Wrath and Beyond podcast, where we cover very supernatural topics and multiple mediums and have a damn good time doing it.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome.
None of us are professional, by the way.
This is my very first time.
But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and enjoy the ride. Today's episode: Evil Dead, Deader and Alive, or Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Nom.
So we're gonna start with a movie we recently saw. We saw Evil Dead Rise.
Awesome movie.
It was very good.
I think it was fun. I think that was the best way to describe it. Like, we laughed a bunch. It was super scary.
It was
at
a
times.
solid horror movie. It was a solid one for me.
Definitely. Probably the most fun I've had at a scary movie in years. I can't think of an actual, recent one that we watched that was like that.
For those who haven't seen it, you want to give a quick synopsis about
Yeah, there's spoilers. No, there was blood, and more blood. They find the Book of the Dead, and of course someone reads it, because that's how all those movies go. And the mom, of course, gets possessed by a demonic spirit. And the fun thing about this one is, in all the other ones I've noticed, they have the option to leave, but this is their own flesh and blood. They kind of have to stick around and help each other out. So there was a lot more restriction, I felt, on the escape aspect of that.
So it was like Fast and the Furious, family had to stay together, huh?
Yeah.
We've only got one chance to make this family whole again.
With all that being said, the movie, in my opinion, fucking gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
Freaking.
That opening scene is one of the best opening scenes I think I've ever seen in a movie.
I feel like the cinematography is just everything about that movie was great.
You had some thoughts on the opening scene the second time you watched it.
I did. The second time I did. Okay. And then I watched it a third time,
Oh,
you
you watched it a
guys.
third
I
time?
watched it 3 times. Because
There
then
it is.
I thought, well, maybe I was feeling a different mood, so I'm going to watch it again. I do love the opening scene. And I said, the head got cut off by that guy, by the drone, and the way it was just thrown up on the deck. I was like, this is awful. This looks terrible. But then I thought, it could be just a typical 80s horror film, because that's how they be in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then I was like, maybe I'm just being too hard on it. So I just,
The original ones were the really intense, animatronic, ridiculous looking severed heads,
practical effects all day.
Yeah.
And loved it. I love the use of practical effects. I feel like the director was definitely channeling Sam Raimi all day.
Did Sam Raimi not direct it?
co-producer.
Yeah. I can still visit, I can close my eyes and see that scalping scene, just
I actually closed my eyes for that.
Dang, you did in the movie theater.
I closed my eyes in that one, and then the tattoo machine scene. For some reason, it freaked me out. I knew something was coming, though. As soon as she was touching her hair, I was like, she's going to fucking rip something. I know it. And you hear it?
Yes.
Oh, man, that was gnarly.
it was insane.
Yeah.
And
The chick that played the mom was incredible. So,
She was my favorite.
did you guys ever watch Vikings?
No, actually, it was a show,
yeah.
right? That guy's super
it's one of
hot.
those
Yeah.
Falcon Wiener shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she actually played the chick that, if you haven't seen Vikings, spoilers. So Ragnar, the main guy, he's married to this one girl that everyone, you love her, you grow to love her, and then he cheats on her with that chick, the one that plays the mom. So,
That whole
I hate that.
yeah, exactly. That's how I felt.
I'm upset.
I didn't like her. I was pissed off. She did a good job, but I think it was just her performance was so good. But then watching her in this and do a horror scene was so good. She wasn't just get in there and kill them. She messed with them the whole time. Or the scene in front of the door where she's chasing the kids.
Oh,
my
God.
So creepy.
It was creepy but hilarious at the same time.
And I liked it because it was funny, it was scary.
Yeah,
It had all the horror tropes in
it
it.
was a good time.
And it was executed well.
I feel like they did a great job of channeling, the demon gave no fucks.
Not at all.
No fucks given.
Once it was in
Zero
her,
remorse.
that was it.
Yeah, they want to play on your feelings, but they don't have any.
It's
So
just
they
how
don't-
much can they get out of you.
Exactly, and I feel like the way the mother did it, I don't know if it's Oscar worthy per se, but
I don't. It's definitely not top tier. I will say that.
But you
I
know
thought it was
what
pretty damn
though?
good.
I will say that.
Especially, well, I'll get on the subject of the kids in a minute, but the way that she was working those kids' feelings, just sitting there, come here, I'm better now, I feel good, let me in, so I can get.
That one was
Yeah.
That was insane, but and then moving on is the kids
yeah. Can we talk about that scene with the kid in the bed sheet with the knife?
Oh,
That was the
Yes.
coolest thing I think in that whole movie.
Yes.
That, like, so that one image alone of her floating with the knife was beautifully done. Like, that was not an Evil Dead scene. That was like art.
Yes,
I'm gonna get deep with that. That was such a cool scene.
I agree. I love that. I still think the way that they did the kid eating the glass, and then you see the glass like poke through like the
and she's
larynx.
crouched on the freaking counter while she's eating glass.
Yeah.
So creepy.
yeah.
It's just
So
like
creepy.
crouched like a freaking
You know something's
crackhead.
coming, but you
Yeah,
don't
I'm like,
know
quit
what's
playing,
coming.
girl.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just and you're like, oh, good, she's eating some chicken. No, she's not eating chicken.
It's like, that looks delicious.
You have concerns about the final beast.
Oh, the abomination at the end, dude.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yes. Yes. I'm still upset about that. I watched it 3 times. I hate it. I
Yeah?
hate the end. It almost ruined the entire movie for
So
me.
it hasn't changed at all. for you the
No,
whole
not
time?
at all.
Okay.
None.
I
It was not Evil Dead to me. That was like some Resident Evil shit, and I was like, this does not fit. I wanted something more than this.
Yeah.
This was not good enough for me.
I agree. Also, like the Beast with 3 backs or the Human Centipede Part 5, whatever you want to call it. Like, I did get a little lost in it.
I was not scary to
So
me
we got
either.
2 opposing sides.
I wasn't happy with it, but then like I'm trying to see like the good in it.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny to say, but
I think it is very Resident Evil-y.
I could see Resident Evil-y. I could see like something out of The Last of Us, anything out of those types of games,
still haven't watched that yet.
movies. You know,
Maybe Silent Hill.
You know, but
I feel like Silent Hill's more gothic
You're right.
than like.
Parasite Eve. Maybe
yeah.
not, right?
Those games.
It could. We'll see.
you're my hero for
I was
bringing
gonna
up that
say you
game
guys.
series.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh God,
Go for it.
Um,
I don't think it fit. I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Okay.
I mean, I
2-1.
understand where you're coming from. I just actually another thing with that whole ending scene that bothered me was I feel like the demon would have just continued to chase them. I don't think that just because they killed the 3, because it obviously still got a girl.
Yes.
So to me, I think it's weird that they walked away. Also, okay, 2 more things that I'm kind of bothered
Yes,
by.
girl, get it.
So one of them was her grabbing the chainsaw. Is that like in a sense her becoming the new Ash, or is that like passing the torch onto her and she's becoming her own person with the chainsaw? Like, what is your guys' thoughts on that?
I think the chainsaw is just. I think it's a what's the word? Like it's a signature weapon in
Okay.
a way. Like and you know, I'm gonna refer back to like most video games. Like any video game that has a chainsaw as a primary weapon or something like that. I'll say like even like Doom games. Fucking, you could slaughter a demon with a chainsaw in the Doom games.
You guys don't think that they were trading places?
I don't
with Ash?
think so.
I don't think so either.
I just feel like it was like
A nod.
It was a nod and like a
Okay.
signature, and it was like, hey, you know what? These things are great for cutting up things. Why
Okay.
not use it? You know.
So here's the third thing that I'm really bothered.
Yes,
girl.
With the chick being pregnant in the movie, what was the point of that? Like, it literally did nothing for the plot except for bringing her to the apartment, but they could have done anything else. Like, was it because there was a part where the mom was smelling her and she's like, "Oh, 2 souls,
Two
you know?
souls.
Yeah, 2 souls, 2."
Yum.
But like, is that something that's going to happen in the future with the next movie? Because there's no connection with this one and the last one except for like I guess the woods scene at the end. But I don't know if that has anything to do with that. But is the fact that she's pregnant like giving foreshadowing to the next movie, or was that just something that they had a better idea with but weren't able to execute it? Because I feel like it was really unnecessary for the plot.
I feel like it gave her a reason to live.
That was the first horror movie where all the kids were fucking taken out. That
I
was
know.
nuts. Like
I
even
was-
the little ones you don't even know are in the hallway.
I know.
Oh, that was crazy. Like I was like, oh,
Brutal.
I thought, you know, heroic buff neighbor that's like
I like Buffy.
Mr. Machismo. You're like, oh, he's gonna come
notice.
save the day, and next thing you know, his ass is getting wrecked. Didn't he get his throat torn out? Was that him? Yeah, that was the guy.
There was
that
a lot of murder happening.
There's a lot
He gets
happening.
freaking
You know,
torn out
you watched it
and
3
shit,
times at this point.
Like, I think they threw a lot of stuff that was expected, you would expect out the window. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, here comes the hero. Oh, all the kids are going to make it out. La da da. No, not all the kids. No, not that. But
But also, if you love the Evil Dead franchise, you should see this movie. It's great.
Perfect.
You
Movies,
absolutely should.
Games, any of it,
Yes.
any of the genre.
Please watch it.
These are
Please watch
remakes
this
I'm not
movie.
disappointed with. There's some movies
not
that have been
disappointed.
remade that it's like, was that really necessary? But
But
Agree.
it's definitely one of my top movies of this year for sure.
oh yeah.
It's definitely top
It's
movies this
definitely
year.
one of my top movies. I'm personally giving it a 9.
Okay. What is a movie that you guys would, like a scary movie that you guys would give a 10 out of 10 for? Like just to baseline it.
Silence of the Lambs. That's
Really?
my all-time favorite horror movie.
That was a good one. Okay.
That kind of shit creeps me out, bruh.
Yeah.
Like Buffalo Bill. Hell nah.
It's so like realistic, you know, because I mean it's not realistic, but it is realistic because it's based on like real things that have happened, you know.
Yeah, that's
There's
just
some real
wild to
crazies
me.
out there. Matt.
I don't know.
It's not even that gross.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the original Scream card. Because everybody
That's
says,
a good one. Has you questioning who's the killer up until the very end.
Yeah. So I mean, for the horror genre, I'm gonna say that or maybe the original John Carpenter's The Thing.
That one's wait. Did you know that there's an original before that one?
What?
Yeah. So
Wait. So I know of 2 of The Thing movies.
there's the new one,
The new one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
and there's the Kurt Russell one.
Yes.
And there's one before that. It's called like The Thing from Outer Space. And I happened to come
That
across
sounds
it one
legit.
day. Yeah, it's like a 1940s or 50s movie. It's all black and white, and it's about an alien, but he basically regenerates himself like a carrot. So they keep calling him the Carrot Man the whole time. And it looks like a man. Like he looks like a tall man that just like pushes people. It's not bad, but like it's just a tame horror movie. But just a fun fact. That's all. I'm gonna get back to the movie and stuff.
Or
like that.
Sleepaway Camp. Have you seen that movie?
Is that the one with the kid at the end that like?
Yes, ma'am. That's not. They shove a curling iron up that girl's coochie. Like that's wild. Ow, dude.
I've never seen
I don't
Sleepaway
know.
Camp, but I've always there's a show called Robot Chicken that made fun of Sleepaway
You know
Camp.
Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
There's this little indie show called
Come on.
Robot Chicken.
Well, some people don't know about Robot Chicken, but if you look up the Sleepaway Camp joke about like she was actually a he or something like that.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
That's not allegedly. That's
No, that's not
fact.
That's like
So I've ruined it for myself. I've already watched those like best ending reveals of
No,
scary
you still need to
movies.
watch it. It's a great 80s horror film, dude.
Okay.
Like top
Okay.
tier.
We'll make it one of our ones that we have
Please
to watch.
do.
okay, we'll do a movie night at my house
Cameraman,
or something like that.
also watch it.
You're gonna come over and watch it with us? All right. Well,
Anthony,
I say I got a big living. Well, I don't have a huge living room, but I got like a 8-seat couch. so-
I'm pumped for our next
I'm big
movie
chilling. Yep.
All right.
So
So
my 10 out of 10 horror movie would be The Exorcist.
That is spooky.
That is so.
it's a long watch for me, honestly.
Really, you don't like it? It's so good.
You know what? I know we're gonna cover this on another night, but you guys are gonna freaking assault me for this one. But
Don't.
one of my least favorite horror movies is the fucking Babadook.
I've never seen that movie, and I will not lie.
I watched that movie and I sat there and I was like, this isn't scary. This isn't like I think there was like one scene I was like kind of cringe, but like I did not care for the movie, and it's not because it's like some people are like, oh, you don't have good foreign taste or whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I just thought the movie wasn't that great. Like I've seen other foreign horror movies that like I nearly pooped myself. Like I was like, oh crap, that was scary. Like the Japanese version of the Ring.
That one wasn't scary to me.
Me neither.
Or The Grudge.
Okay.
That's the one I'm thinking of, the Japanese Grudge.
Oh, I'm thinking
one.
The Ring. I never saw
I was
the
thinking
Japanese
The Ring
Grudge.
too.
I was
So,
thinking
like,
The Ring
Ringu
too.
or something.
The Ringu, yeah.
Yes.
And I forgot what The Grudge is called, but
Ringu's my stage name, by the way.
I love that. Ooh.
now on stage, Ringu. Watch her
with-
twirl.
The Exorcist, one thing that I really like about it is it doesn't use like jump scares or anything. And if you watch it again, I mean, there's music, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't use music to set the scene. Everything is so silent, and you're just listening to like the breathing, and you're listening to like how people's reactions are to things. And it's just, I watched it in the movie theaters here in town. Maybe that's the thing, is maybe you need to see it at the movie theaters because they do the throwback nights here. So me and Steven went and we watched it, and it was so creepy because I've watched it, like rented it from Blockbuster back in the day, but watching it in a movie theater was like 10 times better. And I think it's just like the atmosphere of all
I
of
would
it.
love to watch it.
They're
in
probably going to do another
theaters.
throwback with it, guaranteed. so
I
we
would
should
love
make another
that.
thing.
Yes.
But speaking of Exorcist and demons and stuff
And such.
and such and
Beyond.
That's so funny.
So it was good.
How do you guys feel about like possessions and demons?
I Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Okay, so I went down like a rabbit hole because like
It's one of your many superpowers.
like I went like full like Rain Man, and I was just like definitely looking up shit and looking because it seemed like a lot of exorcisms and possessions like were based like a lot of the main searches you look for are Christian church-based, Catholic Christian church-based exorcisms and stuff like that. And you're just like, and it's like, oh, and it's kind of cringe because then it's like you almost want to think it's almost a hoax because like how much of this is bullshit because there's just nothing but that. So I ended up like having to look into like other religions and things like that because I just wanted to see like what other religions and faiths did, and it actually got a little bit more interesting the more I looked into that way because then it wasn't just looking through like the rose-tinted glasses based off of one religion's beliefs of how to do an exorcism
It's not
and
one-sided.
possession, and it's not necessarily just the devil or anything Christian-based demons and things like that. There was like Indian religions that have like they're saying gods. They were referring as gods, like air and earth gods that would possess people and things like that. And that kind of made it more believable, I guess you could say is the word.
So it's almost like dragons, how multiple cultures have dragons.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like, you have like the Japanese like woo dragon, and then we have like the American badass with the giant wings that wants to hoard gold and freaking speak like Jeremy Irons and shit.
Blood rain from the sky!
I could be very wrong, so I apologize. With Jewish people, isn't there like the debuk, or isn't that like just a term for like a demon or something like that?
So I didn't get into terminology too much.
Okay.
I did look into that kind of got more into like the wording and things like that. I found a couple words and stuff like that. I actually had a hard time finding any Hebrew-based exorcisms.
I could be very wrong with that. I just remember seeing something like there are these things you can look up called like debug boxes, and it's like you trap a demon or a bad spirit inside of it.
I believe it.
Oh, dang.
There's people, you can buy them on eBay. I mean, I'm not saying that they're like accurate, but I think that they stem from some kind of historical demon ideology or something.
When it comes to exorcism, it's hard for me because everything I know about it just all comes from Hollywood. There's so many like books, there's so many movies, like I don't even know what an actual exorcism was. So I was like, I need to actually look up what it is because everything I know comes from Hollywood. So I'm looking it up. But it's hard for me. I don't know. You know what I mean? When it comes to like demonic possession and stuff,
You just can't figure out which ones are bullshit.
Yes, I can't I don't know. Like even when we were talking about, what's his name? Roland Doe. And when I looked into his story, it was just like some of the things are unbelievable to me where I'm just like, because to me, it's like
name one.
He has like a history of like you know what I mean? He was like challenging, and he did have these other things. And it's like you even had a priest that was there say that some of that stuff like was over traumatized and it never happened. Which I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, or mental illness, or like how many people are on drugs? How many people are mental illness that be acting out like that? And we're gonna say it's like demonic possession.
Psychosomatic.
So to me, it's like it's hard.
You're hearing voices anyway, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I don't know.
So, and also his aunt.
I'm too scared to look into it too bad. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, I'm like,
you don't want to bring that shit home with you in case
I'm not
it is
trying
real.
to invite evil into my life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm big chillin'. Please don't come my way.
All of that stuff started happening right after his Aunt Tilly died.
Yes.
And with that, I don't know if it like triggered something. Actually, this is what I was going to bring up to you guys. If let's just say it is real in that story because it was such a big deal at the time. Do you think, because he kept saying like Aunt Tilly stop, Aunt Tilly stop.
Yes.
Do you think that that's just him as a kid thinking that was his Aunt Tilly?
I shall try to contact Tilly.
Do you think that maybe you can die and come back as an evil force for whatever reason? Like maybe you don't understand what's happening in the afterlife. I had questions about that. I had no idea that part of the story was there. So that's a thought, is like, could it just be his Aunt Tilly? Could it all be in his head? Because some of the stuff that they were saying really happened was like, obviously his head didn't spin around or anything like that, but like his bed was shaking, you know?
And even he said when they were like, when he was speaking Latin, priest, I'm not sure which one it is, Havard or something like that, but he was part of the exorcism on that, and he was saying that he even thinks that the kid was just mimicking them. Like, so it's like he didn't even know Latin, he was mimicking what they were saying.
Hello, Mr. Parrot? Hello, Mr. Parrot? Okay, stop copying me. Stop copying me.
I didn't get to that part in the story.
And they were like, they didn't actually vomit. He did a lot of spitting, and then he had childhood friends that said that he was like, he spit a lot, and he was so good that he was accurate at spitting. He could spit like a certain amount of feet. So it was just like, dude, like, you know what I mean? It's like some of these are dramatized, so it's like it's hard to believe.
Right. And you have a really good story. Hollywood's going to pick up on that. Mm-hmm. But there was that priest that was saying that 99% of his exorcisms are not real. And you would think if this guy is just trying to make money or make a name for himself, he would say 50% are real or 60% are real. But he's like, I want to say that that's the numbers, is 1% is real, or like half of 1% is real, and the rest are all bullshit and like in people's heads, or like they're making it up. So that to me, that like it creates more validity to the stories of the ones that they would say is real.
I agree.
So you're saying there is a chance that it could be real?
I definitely think that there
could be, dude. I'm not saying there's
demonic
not.
shit out there. I don't know how much it can come into our realm. I don't know how much it can cross the veil, but I want to know to that priest or those priests, the ones that do hundreds of thousands of exorcisms, what is their baseline? Like, what is their point where they're like, okay, this is one that's real? Is it something that happens to them that's so unbelievable that they have to believe it? Like levitation or something like that.
Exactly.
You know? I don't know. I do believe in that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I feel like, watch, some shit's gonna happen to me now. I feel like it happens, like it's real.
Because we're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're gonna think about it, and it's become real.
I feel like it's real if you believe it's real.
I agree. 100%.
If you don't believe it's real, it's not real. And I don't know if it's just like they can't get to you. What?
I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, I mean, it could go two sides of that coin. Like there's a law of attraction thing. Like if you're thinking about this kind of stuff and you believe it's real, and you have maybe some stuff going on in your head that you need to get looked at, then yeah, of course it's going to happen to you. But at the same time, like, if you believe it's real, you're almost like opening up a gate for something to go inside of you. What do you guys think about that?
So I'm going to refer to one of the videos I watched. So I tried, like, I'm not trying to say anything like to disrespect them, but I try staying away from videos like from like the History Channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They definitely have a narrative going on.
Yeah, but so I was watching like a National Geographic one that was based off of an exorcism, and there was this former priest. He's from the Philippines, and they showed him do like an exorcism and all that, which was pretty cool. Like they did the exorcism on this kid, and then he looked into the kid's history, and they said he started acting out after like his father went missing or something like that. And so the priest said it was kind of a gray area. He could have been possessed, or he was just like acting out because daddy wasn't there.
Uh-oh, someone had some daddy issues.
He left the church so many years ago, and he does exorcisms for free. No money. He does it out of the kindness of his heart, to help these people.
There's a $200 processing fee.
Dang, yeah, for real.
But yeah, so he does like all this thing. He does like this ritual where he tries to figure out what kind of demon it is by putting like these feathers in your toes, and
that's interesting.
It was crazy watching the exorcism.
Had that happen to me at a pedicure one time.
They put feathers in your toes?
Yeah.
Where are you going to get your pedicure?
Yeah, I want to get a pedicure. I wanted
the Vatican.
Oh shit.
Go ahead.
So, but yeah, so like he exercised the kid, and the kid was better after he was exercised. But he said that most of the exorcisms that he did, he said a good majority of them are. He didn't break a percentage down, but he did say a majority of them are psychosomatic. Mm-hmm. But he does believe that there are a definitely amount that are, and that was really interesting because that, like I said, because he does it for free, and he's former Catholic because of traveling Spaniards, blah 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 blah, how it reaches there. Anyways, there was also an actual priest there, and they said, well, we don't condone any of his actions and all that stuff.
Oh, they were discrediting him?
They didn't discredit him, but they say like, you do you, dude, mm-hmm. but we're not associated with you type thing.
Okay.
So it was really interesting that like they kind of like are like, you can't do it no more, like you can't practice this no more. The way that the interviewed of the actual priest, they like the way he was wording things, it sounded like he was like he's doing God's work, but he didn't say it like that because I think he would have got in trouble. But you can kind of like read between the lines. It was really interesting.
Just send me that link. Sounds interesting.
I'll try to find it again. I'll try to find it. It was really
Send it in the group.
You
yeah.
gotta start watching stuff like this would be the benefit of having a TV in here. You know, we can pull something
Oh
up.
my God,
How you were
I know.
talking about
Exactly, like pull up
We'll get there one
screenshots
day,
and
we
stuff like
promise.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
So what do you think would cause a possession? Like in the movies, obviously,
That's
they
what I'm
open
curious
the book
about.
and there's the spell that's. Which, by the way, really quick, the opening the book and then the record going off and Bruce Campbell's voice doing the spell.
Yes.
Such a cool idea. Like, I was really against them finding the book in the basement, and the way that they found everything was just so out of place. But then the way that they transitioned it back to the real world was such a good idea, and it was
yeah.
really
I liked it.
creepy.
Yes.
But-
I like that kid's sound room, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, God, I would love to have a room like that.
of course, you're looking at all that kind of stuff.
I was like, God, he had speakers and his headsets and all that. I was like, oh God, I would love to just like be able to have an old school
Matt's
record and
dream room.
Oh, yeah, it would have like an 85-inch TV with like a PS5 and stuff like that too. But
In the movies, they find the books. What do you guys think would cause a possession in real life? Like a real possession, if we're talking about reality.
vulnerability and sorrow.
Was it just like a depressed person, or do you
Someone
think
that
you'd have
is-
to make a deal with the devil in a sense?
No, I don't know if I want to say necessarily lacking of faith per se, but I feel like it would be someone that's vulnerable and like, I guess you could say like, not lacking of morals or lacking of virtue, but maybe just someone that's just not necessarily maybe down on their luck, that are just way too down. They're like, maybe they have lost someone and they have that vulnerability to where the demon can just be like, oh, there's an opening, gonna get in.
Okay.
And
So
game
yours is
over.
your idea is more vague as opposed to like a ritual aspect of it.
I was like, I think you invite that shit in.
I think there can be ritual. I think there could be summoning rituals too. I'm not saying that one. Also,
Maybe not with like actual word rituals. I mean, just like the aspect of like a process has to take place,
Like the
Yeah.
Ouija board.
Yeah,
You be
exactly.
inviting evil spirits in. Next thing you know, someone's fucking dead.
And that's why I was looking into like all the different exorcism videos, because like it seemed like a lot of these people were depressed and stuff like that. I didn't go into the ritual side. I'll definitely say that I didn't go into the ritual side of where people are like sacrificing a goat or a monkey or whatever.
Yeah, are we like putting like a circle with like salt
Yeah.
and like, what are we doing?
smearing blood on the skull.
Exactly.
Of
I'm drawing a
freaking
door
ram
for
or
you to
something.
get through.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I haven't researched this too much. I want to point that out, but I don't think I've ever heard of a case of someone being possessed that was like a part of the Church of Satan or anything like that. I feel like it's
No,
always the
never.
like people on God's side, which maybe that's it. Maybe they're looking for a godly type human, but you were looking at some like past religions, how you were talking about earlier. What were some of the other ones?
I was looking at one from India, and this one was actually, I wanted to laugh at it, but not to mock it, but I just thought the end was freaking hilarious to me because, so I guess like, especially like in where they were in India, like there's hundreds of thousands of people that live there.
Yeah.
And they'll get like a couple people that they believe are possessed, and they'll do like this, they'll do the prayer and chant. And by the way, a lot of the exorcism videos I watch, zero violence, no whipping, or I was expecting someone to get whipped.
Whipped?
Not like with like a cat of nine tails or something like that. I don't know.
What the fuck?
You're gonna whip them demons out.
Something, or like
whip it real good.
smacked with the Bible or something, or freaking like hose down, like oh, here, we're gonna drown, like try to like waterboard you or something. I don't know.
With this holy water.
Like I was
Not
thinking,
tying people down and
yeah, like
Okay.
not
Now
like
it's like
tied
we're
to the bed.
torturing them.
Nothing like,
waterboard them.
Yeah, nothing
We're gonna
like
drown the demon.
nothing that you'd see out of nothing you'd see out of like Guantanamo Bay or anything like
Okay.
that. Just like something that's just like, it was actually like all the rituals were like pretty wholesome, honestly, like that. But they you can see like it's positive chanting and stuff like that. A lot of like drums and chimes. And the weird thing is like, so instead of bringing him to the temple first and doing the chanting and the exorcism and all that, for some reason for the Indians, like they brought him to this one place, did the chant, and as the spirits were like getting ready to leave the body, then they could drag the person, like as walking the person to the temple. But they had to constantly make the noise And one of the things of my thought process is like, so if one guy gets off beat, is the demon going to bolt and possess someone else?
That's a good thought or a good question.
But so like you see these guys
see
like
someone
just
else like really quick, like get
but
hit.
it's almost like that scene in Game of Thrones where the lady's just like walking and she's like shame, but instead it's like they're just like chanting, they're like ah, like they're like walking the person to the temple, which is like, and then
Were they naked?
no, they were fully clothed, and then they get to this room in the very back.
I'm not being creepy. I was really just asking.
No, it's valid. It's valid. Yeah, because you never know, like sunshine on the body to pin down the demon or something like that. I believe
It'd be better if they were naked.
Everything.
I don't know. I didn't get a good look at these ladies.
Oh, Bruce. This is Bruce.
Half naked.
He was also naked.
So they take them in the back of this temple into this room, and that's where they complete the ritual because they believe that the spirit has to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. So they put the spirit in this room. Okay, that's fine. That's all fine. You would think, okay, cool. And then they lock the room with like the flimsiest lock and chain.
Really? It's just like the hotel room
like a
door?
Dollar Tree chain. Like,
wait. So is it just like? Do demons not open doors?
I don't know. Maybe the chain was silver, and I just didn't get a good look.
That's chain. Well, come on, you gotta have like a board or something.
You would think that it would have like a solid latch on it or something like that, but it was just a shut door.
But silver
with a
isn't
chain.
a thing that's supposed to like be supposed to protect you.
And that's what I was thinking. But like I said, the lock was a small lock.
They might have like a chant on, or not a chant,
like a protection
spell
or
on
something,
the
like
room
or a ward of some kind.
Yeah, like some kind of like force that's keeping it in there regardless.
Exactly, and they said it's deep within the temple, so maybe like the energy of the temple helps keep the room sealed.
That makes sense.
Maybe
The
they
whole
purify
thing, like,
over time. Who knows? But I just thought it was like the most ridiculous thing that this room. But maybe they just
go
put the
through all
lock and
that
chain on there
just
just
to get the
not to keep the spirits from coming out to keep people from wandering in. Maybe.
But they can undo the chain.
Yeah.
It could be one of those things like, I don't know if it's a witches specifically, but something's not supposed to be able to go on cemetery grounds, you know?
Isn't that witches?
I think
I
it's
learned that from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, the same thing.
So
That's exactly
I don't know if
what I
that's
was thinking.
factual.
So, okay, well, we'll just say for the sake of the timeline.
It's witches.
Stuff, maybe it is that kind of thing, like the fact that it's a holy area, you know, and then that specific room, they already like.
That makes sense.
Is that a cricket?
Ooh,
I think we're getting booed right now.
that's rude.
But
That's a lot.
Yeah.
so, but this was one of the craziest things I also read about was. There was an article I read. You know what country actually has the highest rise in exorcisms?
Where?
Mexico.
I believe
Hey.
So they were saying that priests believe that the increase in gang and cartel activities that shed blood in the cult of Santa Muerte, which also involves like the Day of the Dead and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it's not just gangs and all that. There's the people that believe in Santa Muerte, it's all across Mexico.
What's
anybody that celebrates Day of the Dead helps celebrate Santa Muerte.
What's that?
She's one of the saints. She's a
queen.
She a queen.
Queen Dead?
She's they said that she's the saint of death.
Okay.
You might have seen imagery of her, like any of the sugar skulls that have like the diamonds all over.
So because of all that and like the negativity, basically, it's creating
A surge in demonic activity.
So is it people that are like, I'm possessed, or were you able to look into it too far?
The article didn't go. It was like a 10-page article, but none of them said like directly exorcism. It was like violence, death, Day of the Dead, yada yada yada. But like it never said direct things. But they were just saying like, but like the article did say like priests are performing more exorcisms than ever in this country. I did look up like ways to keep demons and stuff away.
I want to talk about that.
The hand of Fatima or of Miriam.
Fatima?
Fatima.
From Portugal?
I don't know where she's from.
Go ahead. Sorry.
He's like, I don't know.
But basically, it's the image of this hand that has an eye.
The eyeball.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Sarah's got it unlocked.
I know, dude. Hell
So
yeah.
that's supposed to
sacred
shield
hand.
you from the eye of evil. This one is actually pretty cool because then I started thinking about like Johnny Depp for some reason, and because he wears so much eyeliner and stuff like that, is that ancient Egyptians wore eyeliner and smoky eyeshadow to prevent evil from entering through the eyes.
I know that cats are sacred there, but do they also be helping warn off evil spirits?
I mean, you've seen the mummy movies, right? Like,
Absolutely. That's what I'm basing it off of. Everything they base everything off is movies. This is not good.
Some are accurate.
That was like one of my
Is it though?
favorite scenes is in it was like in the first Mummy movie when the mummy breaks into that person's house and then like the cat shows up anywhere and he's like Row! And then like his jaw like unhinges and he's like Row! And you're just like damn.
I do love that movie.
I was actually watching this thing a couple of maybe last year, and they were uncovering this tomb in Egypt, and they found, I don't remember how many mummified cats, but in those they actually found a mummified lion cub. And it was like the first time, at least if I remember this correctly, the first time that they had found one that was like intact and like a full body like lion.
That's
and
wild.
I don't know, I think they said that it was alive when they mummified or killed it, you know what I mean? That sounds okay. Versus like they didn't just find it and it didn't die of natural causes. It like had its throat slit or something.
Oh, all
like
right.
that. Yeah, so worded that terribly, but you know what I'm saying. So it was like a ritualistic kind of thing.
That's fine.
I don't remember what the reasoning was behind it, but it was super significant. I thought that was really interesting.
That is very
Kill a lion?
Yeah, lions. It's a big cat, man.
Cat family.
They're just
bigger
so
the cat, the bigger the
majestic,
juju.
dude.
Huh?
They're just so majestic.
Yeah,
Sad to think you would kill a lion.
I didn't even think about lions in Egypt, but it totally makes sense.
It does.
I've seen things with like lions, but you remember they had freaking hippos that were just chilling in the river in freaking Egypt too. So
Hippos are gnarly, dude.
I know we're getting off subject, but you ever watch videos of hippo attacks? They're fucking scary.
They're fast in the water too.
They're fast on land.
They're fast all the time.
Like getting chased by a bear or hippo, I'll take my chances with the bear. So this is actually a fun one. Is that the devil horns in Italy is actually a way to avoid evil. I think they
Like,
do
you like this?
I think they do more of this.
It's like, yo.
But not, they don't, I don't think they sit there like
stop it.
fuck off, Satan.
Yeah.
Like
Stop it.
I
See
don't
a
think
grandma walking through the streets.
That's like
I
Spider-Man
would
kind
die if
when
like
Tobey Maguire's trying to figure out how to like whip it. He's
of whip it.
I don't know why I said whip it. You see a demon in the street and
You just no.
Yeah.
Stop it.
so I couldn't find a picture of it, but I don't think it's necessarily like this, the word the evil. I think it's just more like the way they point at it.
Is that where the origin is?
It didn't say.
Okay.
It didn't say, but it would kind of make sense. Either that or someone was just like, fuck yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and-
Is it picking up on the microphone, the cricket?
It probably is.
Okay,
Oh, well.
it's fine.
You guys.
It'll be fun.
it just adds some mysticism to the middle of the desert.
It's fine. We need some unnerving noises.
Steps to go get the cricket.
One of the final things I found, and this actually made me go down another rabbit hole, was in ancient Rome they found they would use they would use phallic objects to seduce evil spirits.
Oh, my goodness.
So yes, like stone carved dicks, carrots, whatever. So don't eat a seduced carrot, by the way.
Wait, say that one more time, the whole thing. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Phallic objects to seduce evil spirits.
To like bring them to like so that they can catch them, or is it to get rid of? Like, what? Explain this more.
To catch the evil spirit within.
Okay.
So yeah, like a stone dildo or
That's
a carrot.
dope.
A
And
carrot.
who was this?
In ancient Rome.
Okay.
This was like the most far out thing, but the weird thing is like, so
It sounds like you're trying to seduce the spirit.
yeah, it's like, ooh, look at this.
If you were an archaeologist and you're like uncovering a tomb and you find like a stone dildo, like don't touch it.
Exactly, you would think so.
I'm gonna sniff it. I'm just kidding.
That's gross.
I'm just kidding, you guys.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
That's enough podcast for the night, guys. Okay. I still want to know what is considered a real exorcism, like a real possession.
I agree.
I feel like we haven't.
We would have to.
answered
You would
that.
have to find a legit priest that would say like, yeah, this dude was. And I'm pretty sure he won't. Like he'll probably say like John Doe.
Dear
was.
internet priest, please come to our show and talk to us about what a real possession is like, because I want to know. I want to know what it looks like.
Except for Father Massey. Please don't come, Father Massey.
Are they all different? Like, because isn't there different demons? There's like 7 different demons of hell or something. So like,
there's like 9 layers of hell.
So like
is there different demons in hell? Like, okay, obviously there's
like
different ones, but
well, they say like lesser demons and greater demons and things like that.
Okay, so there's like a hierarchy.
You would have to look into like the demonology,
right?
Blah blah blah. But
I need to look.
Well,
into
like
that
in
more.
the Evil Dead movies, it's like one person gets possessed, and then like they all obviously domino effect, and there's like mayhem that just comes out. Has there ever been a situation like that where it's been like a murder spree, or is it all very much like this person's just all of a sudden like getting bruises and cuts and like talking in Latin all night long?
Yeah, I agree.
I
don't actually know.
You know, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we can save that for a topic for another time, is finding cults or something like that.
Part 1.
Ooh, yeah.
I would say let's definitely revisit that. Finding cults that.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think is a real possession? I want to know. Put in the comments. Go ahead.
Do you have any other topics that you guys want to bring up for future that involve this that you want to revisit also, like besides cults?
Like this specifically, the exorcism
like anything
topic?
Yeah, maybe
like items that demons have attached themselves to,
like Annabelle and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
Ooh,
Annabelle's a good one. I was actually going to bring up Annabelle, but I haven't seen it.
Pet Cemetery,
best movie ever. I love it. The new one is good too. I want to say
it is good. It was a good remake.
I was just thinking
the
about that.
Cemetery remake?
Yes,
it was pretty legit.
I liked it.
I remember I watched it once and I liked it. I don't remember if I wanted to give it a rewatch.
The ending on the new one was really unsettling, like how the little kid got left in the car and the dad, like they all come back zombified.
Oh yeah.
And then they just like look at the kid through the car and his hand goes on the window and they're gonna take the kid next and go bury him. Like that's the freaky thing. Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps thinking of that. The old one was good. How like the mom came back and they start making out and like she goes to kill him.
Yeah.
Do you have like any exorcism movies or anything like that you could think like that like might have floated under people's radars under a while that like
The Exorcism of Emily Rose, is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
That was a good one though.
That's a fantastic
That's
movie.
a great one. You're so upset.
Why are you mad?
Why?
Did you
That
guys
was
see
mine.
I'm sorry.
I was like, as soon as you mumbled it, I was like, ah, damn it. I'm not mad at you though. I
Matt, why are you mad?
I'm not mad. I was gonna recommend that's definitely. I wanted to definitely say if you haven't watched it or not, watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's definitely one of those what if scenarios. Was she actually possessed or was she not? And I feel that movie was so solid, and I forgot to bring it up earlier because I was kind of saving it for this area.
Would that be a top,
no? You're fine.
Is that
I'm
a top
not
tier
mad
movie to you?
I think it's a diamond in the rough. That's definitely for sure.
All right.
It's a very good mixture of true crime / possession, demonic stuff. You know?
Absolutely, and you feel for her. Jennifer Carpenter, who was like in Dexter and White Chicks and stuff like that.
That's how I know her. It's White Chicks.
She was amazing in this movie because like you felt for her. Like was she possessed? Like
and you don't know if it really happened.
If she was really possessed or not, and that's like one of those things that it's just like that made that movie like powerful for me. Was it's like.
I like those ones where they make you question it.
Did you ever watch that movie? I don't know who. I think it's Dennis Quaid though. Like he says that like God tells him to like kill all these like bad people, and like he has him and his son like
Frailty?
that.
Oh, it's a
is that
Matthew
possession?
McConaughey.
Like is that kind of like because he's like God be speaking to me, dude. God be speaking to me and telling me to kill people. We know God didn't tell you that. First of all,
I mean maybe.
Okay, we know.
I haven't seen that movie in probably 7 or 8 years, so I can't say for certain. That was a Matthew McConaughey movie, right?
Was it, or is it Matthew McConaughey?
It's been a minute for me.
Do you know what we're talking about? Damn it!
That's where we need Steven.
Do you guys know what we're talking about?
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Because that's a good movie. I said Dennis Quaid. I don't know.
That was a good twist at the end.
Because sometimes he'd be spooky. So
okay, so he says that he was a serial killer that was God's hand killer.
Boom,
across Texas. It doesn't say anything about possession, but it is Matthew McConaughey.
But wouldn't that kind of
and
be
Bill
like the
Paxton
same
is
thing?
who you're thinking of, I think.
So I guess the other thing with possession is like we'll talk about like it's psychosomatic, but then Like, for example, I wouldn't get an exorcist tattoo on me just because I don't want to attach that kind of stuff. We say it's psychosomatic, but then we won't do things to allow demons into our lives. So is it that we do believe that that kind of thing can happen, or is it that we just don't want to allow our brains to get down that path? Like, which one is it?
I want to say
or do
yes
we just not know, and like we can admit we don't know, we're too afraid to find out?
I want to say yes, like, to all that. Like, I think it's everything. I think it's how you want to let it, if you want to let something like that in your life.
Because we played with the Ouija board at the shop for a little bit. When I not first started working here, but maybe like a year in, I'd say it was like Halloween. We played with it, and then we kept it, and then messed around with it like maybe one other time. And I felt like a lot of weird shit was happening in that time period. And I don't know if it was just my mind, but my dog was acting weird in my apartment at the time, and I definitely felt like there was just bad energy around me all the time. I can't explain it. So like I would probably play with the Ouija board again, knowing that, like, I don't know, I'm going to be fine at the end of the day.
I also want to do it.
Okay, we'll have to do this. But at the same time, it's like, a lot of people won't get near that shit. Like, we had it here for a flash day, the Ouija board out front. And it's like, no, guys, go play with it. And no, everyone was like, we're not going to fuck with that. Are you kidding me? But it's literally like a toy, you know? So I don't know. When we played with it, to me, it was so real. Like, when I say it's so real, it's just, how can all these people combined all of our hands make one cohesive word, you know, that like makes sense, or like a sentence or something like that. But it was literally made by, I think, Hasbro in like the
I was about to say, I think Hasbro or
You're moving it. Would you just quiet? I'm trying to concentrate here, and I'm not moving it.
Why would a demon attach itself to a common toy? It'd be like Candyland, you know, like a demon's gonna.
It would be a smart way though, because kids be playing with it. Kids are like super like vulnerable, you know. You're like, I'm gonna enter through you, dude, because you're not an adult and you don't know any better.
Captain Howdy.
Who's Captain Howdy?
You know, I make the questions and he does the answers.
I can't remember that they've used like this toy so many times in movies too. Not to try to get off too much off subject, but the clapping monkey with the cymbals.
Yeah, I think do be scary.
With the big cheesy smile, and he's just ding 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 ding. And I've seen that like used in like as like a horror symbol and so many times. And if I ever see anything like that in real life, I am burning down whatever building it's in.
Burn them all!
You guys know that you can buy haunted dolls?
No.
I don't want to do that.
I thought about it. Well, actually, over in my space over there, I considered having like a wall of oddities.
This stuff, isn't it neat?
And I was gonna buy like a haunted doll on eBay for like $30 or something.
I just don't think that's a good idea,
I could just buy a doll from the thrift store and say it's haunted. You know what I mean? Like, what makes this one haunted? And
I wouldn't even take that chance, dude.
Huh?
I wouldn't even take that chance.
I mean, I guess if something weird happens, just throw it out. But that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like, Terra, you were just watching about exorcism and got scared 10 minutes in.
That's true.
Bring out the owl.
I just like being scared. Like, I love the idea of being scared. Being scared's fun.
I think people.
But then there's the point where it's like, that's too much, dude. Like, that's scary to me.
Yeah, you're not like cutting open a goat's throat.
Yeah, as soon as I start reading too much about this stuff, I'm like, I'm getting scared, dude.
Yeah.
If we do start doing field trips and stuff like that, if we go anywhere haunted,
when we do field trips
and stuff like that, one of the last things I'm going to be doing as we leave that building is you're going to hear me apologizing to whatever spirits might be in there.
I am sorry.
Maybe we should bring like an offering or something with us.
I will bring a chicken and snap its neck in front of them or something.
Frankincense, myrrh, whatever you want, dude.
I actually learned this from a mutual friend of ours. Sage. Isn't the
cedarwood?
When you burn it off and all the ash, isn't that supposed to be the offering you're supposed to give to the spirit?
That's what we're doing.
I'll bring a bowl of oranges.
If you do want to smudge your home, you should hit up Red Rock Books because they got the kits, dude. They got all the kits for you. They even got cedarwood.
So I guess our next episode's going to be the Boogeyman, correct?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to cover the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Do we have... I don't know if the movie comes out in time for it by our next taping, but we're going to try to catch the movie The Boogeyman. If not, we're going to cover movies or...
Yeah, we'll find other ones.
Movies, Babadook, Sinister.
We'll do more research. That's something I learned.
Absolutely.
This is our first episode. This is... thank you for your patience, everybody.
We will get better. Believe that.
So with that being said, thank you again. Like and subscribe and
comment anything you guys would like to see in the future.
Absolutely, anything you guys want to see, anything you want to, anything.
Supernatural discussion, movies, anything of that sort. Big thank you to Anthony for getting the setup.
Yeah, our
together.
producer Anthony, you're fucking awesome, dude. You kick ass. Thank you
Rich
again.
Gaming. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you and have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.